So he's a wordsmith, obviously.
Yeah. At the time of writing this, I was a 20-something fuck.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of That's Audiophiles. My name's John. His name is indeed Andy.
Yep.
Hot lines under a rain of drums. Cigarette props in action. Dialogue dub. Oh, here's the rub. She's acting her reaction. More of that later. But first, we have a track to listen to. Andy, please tell everybody what you have for us today.
I will do just that. The name of the track is called Play the Part, and it is by 2 Feet. So, yeah, just two of them.
We have a two-handed Bob situation going on here, haven't we?
So 2 Feet, track, Play the Part. I'd love to get your insights on this one. So please go off, give it a listen, and come back and let everybody know what you made of it.
Will do. Okay, dokie. Nice start. I like the fade up, and that's the vocals. It's quite a moody piece and understated. So when the singer starts singing, really, even though it's quite a laid back, sort of understated vocal, double tracked or reverbs, that's really the only melody. You just got this beat and bass behind it, and I think just then, as I was stopping it, the synth was coming in, but it feels like quite a mood piece. It's got a nice atmosphere to it, and I don't know if it's the thumbnail that's sort of subconsciously subverting my thinking, but it feels like a late evening piece. Yeah, it's nice. Okay, let's see how it goes. That's pretty.
In the dark I roam. In the dark I
Yeah, it really is a mood piece. I'm getting all these sort of subtle inferences from it. It's layering bits into it. I'm actually really enjoying this. It does sound a bit sort of like deliberately dated. Um, it's like the musical version of a Michael Mann film, where he puts in those terrible filters, but after a while you get used to them, and obviously it's this style. I'm thinking of Manhunt particularly, and Miami Vice, I guess. This song, when that guitar kicked in, you could see Crockett driving down the road late at night in his open top sports car, definitely. Um, yeah. No, I liked it. There's a really nice, like, gentle little guitar in there, finger clicks, then the percussion's building, and then this guitar comes in, and it is on the sort of the dairy side of guitars. It's not quite cheesy, but it's definitely dairy. But it sounds great. I really enjoy it. I'm going to bring that back a little bit. This is just really interesting. It does have a sort of late nightishness feel to it, and there's this tone to it that's not quite resigned, but it kind of feels like something's gone wrong, but it's not quite over yet. That's what I'm getting from it. God knows. I'm not really getting is the actual lyrics, so who knows? Right, let's listen to a bit more of this. I guess it must bleed into another song or something. Ah, I enjoyed that actually. I kind of felt the end. It was just begging when it went. Guitars had gone for a bit, and then it went extra high. If it had come back in with some sort of refrain singing, it would have been more sort of urgent, and that would have been really effective. But there you go. I guess that's another cliche as well, isn't it? Um, yeah, this was cool. It was really well put together, actually. It did have this sort of dated feel to it, which then I guess put me in mind of these film and TV images. Yeah, it's really interesting. I can't help thinking that this would be just as effective as an instrumental. I didn't get much from his vocal, though, it wasn't terrible and put me off, but it would have been a really cool instrumental if there just no vocals at all. Yeah, got to find a bit more about 2 Feet. Is that him showing off or some sort of other nickname? That's the only way of finding out. Is going back and speaking with Andy.
All right, welcome back. So what'd you make of this track?
It's an interesting one. So it was a nice start. And I think we've said this not super recently, but probably in the last couple of months. Fade up.
Mm.
Don't get it very often, and it is nice.
Yeah.
And this was a fade up with a focus pull, coming into focus. So I don't know if it's the tone of the vocal
Yeah.
against the sort of clock ticking beat as they rise in volume and clarity. It's like a cinematic trick shot. I don't know if it's that or if it's the thumbnail working its subliminal magic on my impressionable mind, but I'm getting like mood and setting already at the start. Now, this may not be what the artist intended. Well, I say may not. This definitely wouldn't be what the artist intended with this song, as I didn't get a lick of the lyrics. But bear with me. I'm getting this mood from the first like 10 seconds, which is a real nice sort of, um, exposition. It's definitely set on a warm summer's evening. And I'll get this mood that's laced with kind of intent and kind of regret, but not quite, but very similar. And also a feeling that whatever's happened isn't over yet. It's sort of like the immediate vibes, kind of like that William Hurt, Catherine Turner body heat vibes without all the grinding. I've properly put straight into film noir mode here, but like modern film noir, not the sort of classic black and white. Yeah, it's just really nice. So the singer begins, and the layers of both the song and the narrative begin as well. But I'm getting the narrative musically, not lyrically. So it drops from initially when it starts singing to a very to the beat and simple sort of bass notes, and they're kind of this gentle thump to both of them. Almost reminds me of like billiard balls knocking against a green baize on a big snooker table. It's that sort of lovely reassuring sort of quality to the hits. There's a really subtle guitar just strumming, like it's almost like fractured chords, and hiding behind this subtle guitar, way behind in the corner, is some sort of keyboard work that's just very gently feathering in bits of atmosphere into the track as well. But it's in most part it's the vocal melody that kind of leads you through the verse. His vocals are really sort of laid back and pretty understated. It's double tracks, I believe, which again gives a nice. It's a weird feeling to it, like it's almost like a detached narrator, or I don't know, but it's just getting this laid backy type feel to it. The percussion and the guitar ramp up slightly as the chorus, I believe, appears, and we get then the return of the and some fatter beats. So it's all quite a gentle progression, but it's real setting a mood. I'm really enjoying the way it's all put together, and it's quite thoughtful as well. As you come out of this chorus, and I wish I could quote you the lines, but I could. We get this lovely section where, like you say, drop down, but it's more like an apex of a leap or a jump. Particularly, I was thinking of like a BMX rider doing a trick, and they get to that apex of their jump. I have been watching the Olympics, yes,
I was gonna say.
and really enjoying it. Where momentarily everything is just still.
Yeah.
And you then get these lovely little, really pretty guitar twiddles accompanied by some finger clicks. And the vocal sort of backing notes come back in. Extended notes as well, which is really nice. It's all building the scene. Now, to me, to my ears, it sounds slightly dated, but deliberately so. And it just kind of adds to the enjoyment, actually. And then we start to get some percussion work going as well, which indicates that gravity is starting to pull us back down. And as we come out of the apex and start to fall down, the guitar solo kicks in. Now, it's not quite cheesy, but it's definitely dairy-based solo. And not altogether surprising when it came in. I did give a sort of delighted chuckle when it came in, because it both amused me and delighted me. I thought it was wonderful. And I realized at this moment that this isn't film noir body heat. This is more like music from a Michael Mann film. And I'm thinking particularly of something like Manhunter, or even like, Miami Vice. So this music was particularly with the guitar solo bit could easily be played over a shot of Crockett driving around Miami late at night in his open top sports car. It was truly I mean, it really was like an 80s guitar solo. Um, I just thought it was wonderful. It really was. Some vocalizing joins in. Um, and the guitar then goes up the octaves, expressing a bit more sort of emotional turmoil or whatever. And then it drops out, burnt out probably, to leave that original guitar just picking away. And then we get this abrupt ending, which I guess means it's cut to the next bit, which I guess would be the morgue scene in this drama. um, I don't normally say this, but I think they missed a trick not coming back in with like the chorus right at the climax of that solo. It would have real emotional maximum impact. But perhaps that would have been cliched as well. What do I know? Perhaps it wouldn't have even mattered if it was cliched. Having said all that, I also was struck when this finished that I think this would have worked just as well. Not to take anything away from him, if this had been instrumental with no singing at all. I think this would have been superb. It was really well put together, really thoughtful. It just inspired lots of mood and painted scenarios in my head, which is great. And I probably enjoyed this a lot more than I should. Um, but I will absolutely listen to this again. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, awesome, man. I'm glad you liked it. Had a similar effect on me when I listened to it, and I never converted from the film noir thing. I still firmly think that this does have aspects of film noir
Yeah.
to its sound and its production. Um, you're not wrong though. Like I could easily see it fitting in like something much more 80s ish. So yeah, totally checks out. And this is yeah, I'm really glad you like this one and that you would actually openly admit that you go back and check it out because yeah, it's a fun one for me as well. The artist Zachary William, known by Bill to his friends, Des, is also known by his stage name to his fans, 2 Feet, and he's an American singer songwriter and producer based out of New York City. His solo music has been described as electronic, alt rock, and electro soul. Des used to play locally in jazz and blues ensembles before sort of taking on this persona of 2 Feet and dabbling in this kind of music. After his single Go Fuck Yourself became a viral hit on SoundCloud, he signed with Republic Records. The single reached number 36 on the US Hot Rock Singles or Songs chart. His next single, I Feel Like I'm Drowning, reached number 1 on the US Alternative Songs chart in 2018. On October 5th, 2018, 2 Feet released his debut album, 20 Something Fuck, which featured the singles I Feel Like I'm Drowning and Hurt People. He's obviously got a great perspective on who he is at the time.
He's a wordsmith, obviously.
Yeah. At the time of writing this, I was a 20-something fuck. So yeah, on March 13th, 2020, he released his second album, Pink. And on April 16th, 2021, he released his third album, Max Mako is Dead, right? And on May 13th, 2022, I don't know who Max Mako is. He released his fourth album. His fourth album was released on May 13th, 2022, titled Shape and Form, and this track features on that album. In his track-by-track review of the album, Rivals Samuel Aponte wrote of the track, "Play the Part comes along and it makes a statement or a case for me not to grow too comfortable with what I've heard so far. Because this album's got lots of cool new sounds and it wants to explore, and I should just expect the unexpected." Aponte would then conclude his article with this. Of the album, the man himself says that Shape and Form is an album I am most proud of to date. To me, it feels like my most complete body of work. And while I can't say that I've had the time to pore over his previous records, something I certainly intend to do, I can easily believe him when he says that. Because all of the songs, as eclectic as they are, feel like they were carefully and adeptly stitched together with a common purpose, all cut from the same cloth, even at their most disparate and distinct. The album is lengthy, but not a second of it feels like padding or like it drags on. And I believe it is like a 14-track album. So, all in all, I can certainly laud 2 Feet for his extraordinary piece of work. And I can also say that I've been gifted a phenomenal new artist to follow. The consumer-driven website Album of the Year has received 29 different reviews of this album, and its average score based on those reviews stands at 75. Illustrate magazine wrote this of the album. The versatile performer taps into both signature and wholly new styles on the album. For this project, 2 Feet's credo was whatever comes, comes, and whatever goes, goes. That is evidence as we are tugged in all directions by heartache, euphoria, anger, despair, love, and hate. The project's sound is described as an electric mix that includes house records, shoegaze rock, new experimental instruments, and vintage 2 Feet sounds. Ryan Castillo of the music website This Song Sick wrote of the album and track, building a sweltering landscape of soulful guitar-led melodies, lo-fi beats, and deep bass lines. 2 Feet sonically transforms his surroundings into an electric, sultry, post-apocalyptic world. Whether it's the seductive allure of My Life or the sensual vibe-driving Play the Part, the double-sided record feels like a push and pull between the super ego and the most primitive id. So let's jump into these lyrics that you, as is par for the course, caught none of or very little of. It does start, you did catch this. It starts with those uhs, and we get a series of those. And then verse 1. An intermission of your fate. Close your eyes. God gives or takes away. You try and forget all your hate. Anger thrives, trapped in a steel crate. And you're heading south and talking too loud. The time isn't now. You breathe in and out. I'm thinking of March, a crushing false start. No actress, and you didn't play the part. And more of those uhs in the refrain. In the dark I go, in the dark I go, in the dark I go. And then that instrumental that kind of puts a bow on the song. So, I found this really interesting synopsis that kind of did my work for me, so I really didn't have to type out what the song was about, because I found a really great one on the internet, and it was from a website called Lyrics Layers, and they capture the meaning really well. The song delves into the complexities of inner conflict and struggle to find one's place in the world. The opening line suggests a moment of pause and reflection where the protagonist is caught between destiny and the whims of a higher power. This sets the stage for a narrative that explores themes of anger, frustration, and the search for meaning. The metaphor of anger being trapped in a steel crate implies the sense of confinement and the difficulty of escaping these negative feelings. This struggle is further emphasized by the lines which convey a sense of urgency and disorientation, as if the protagonist is moving in the wrong direction and is out of sync with the world around them. The chorus reflects on the moment of self-realization and disappointment. The mention of a crushing false start suggests missed opportunities or failed attempts at achieving something significant. And the phrase, no actress and you didn't play the part, implies a lack of authenticity or failure to meet expectations, either self-imposed or from others. The repetition of In the Dark I Go at the end of the song reinforces the themes of navigating through uncertainty, highlighting the ongoing journey of self-discovery and the quest for inner peace. So I think that is a good synopsis, a thorough one actually, of what the song is about, his perspective when writing it. So there you have it. But yeah, really good stuff. There's definitely other tracks from previous albums and off this very robust album itself that are definitely worth giving a listen. I might bring one or two to the channel in the future. Hopefully this is well received, and it'll give me an excuse to do just that. Though it cleared the first hurdle, which was cutting the mustard with you, and I'm glad that you really enjoyed this one, John.
Yeah, I just think it's a really good sign. Oh, like you say, crafting whatever, but good choices in that, it's open to interpretation. Obviously, someone puts something out there, and what I make of it is maybe not what he intended, but that's the way it goes. We talked about this at length before, but I think to be able to create a mood and a scene within the first few seconds, I think shows really good decision making.
Yes, yes, and it speaks to one of the things on the man's CV, right? Like he's not just a musician, he's a producer. And I think he has an ear for those kinds of decisions and choices to make to really put together a song that does things like evoke mood or create setting and things like that, which is for me, and you are obviously no slouch yourself. You're a big literary guy yourself. So for those of us who like things outside of just the medium of music, that can find similarities between those mediums and the medium of music is really cool, right? Like creating mood, setting, atmosphere, all of that stuff, even character development in songs is really, really cool. And these kind of choices highlight why that's so interesting in music and how it can really help lift a song to another level. So I'm glad you recognize those things. Yeah, it's definitely a great track, man. Really glad you appreciated it. Folks out there in the listening audience, let us know what you thought of 2 Feet and the song Play the Part. If you're familiar with any of his other stuff and if we should check it out here on this channel, please offer it up down below. If it reminded you of anything or you have any other random thoughts or suggestions, use the comment field. It's there for a reason, and it's all there for you. Just be kind. That's all we ask. Also, like, share, and subscribe if you have not done any of those things to this point. Really helps us with the algorithm, and we do appreciate that very, very much. And hopefully, John and I will catch all you in growing numbers on the next installment of the Audiophiles. We'll see you later, guys.